Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you again for joining today's video. If you're new here, my name is Patience and I film videos about my experience in Canada, studying in Canada, and basically just surviving in Canada generally. So you're moving to Canada, or at least thinking about it. You're excited, maybe a little nervous, and you keep hearing mixed things. Some people say Canada is amazing, full of opportunities, and one of the best places to live. Others, well, they talk about high costs, job struggles, and brutal winters. And the truth is, both are right. It all depends on where you settle. I've seen so many immigrants land in the wrong city, and within a few months, they are struggling with rent they can't afford, job markets that don't favor newcomers, or feeling completely isolated. But on the flip side, I've also seen people thrive just by choosing the right place to start their Canadian journey. So today, we are talking about the best cities in Canada for new immigrants, where you will find job opportunities, affordable housing, and strong immigrant communities. And of course, I'll also mention the places you might want to avoid unless you want to spend all your money on rent or struggle to find a job. And stay till the end because I'll share one thing that can save you thousands of dollars when you first arrive in Canada. All right, let's get into it. Now, let's start with the best cities for immigrants, and I'll be giving you an in depth analysis based on my research. Now, let's start with Toronto, the city everyone talks about. Toronto is the financial, tech, and cultural hub of Canada, and it has one of the largest immigrant populations in the world. In fact, nearly half of Toronto's residents are immigrants. Why is that a big deal? Well, it means that no matter where you are from, you'll probably find your people here. Whether it's a church, mosque, cultural association, or a favorite hometown restaurant, Toronto has it all. And that makes a huge difference when you're adjusting to a new country. Now, why do immigrants love Toronto? First thing is the tons of job opportunities. Toronto has industries in finance, healthcare, tech, retail, and construction, so finding work is easier compared to other cities. Also, the public transportation is excellent. You do not need a car to get around, which saves you money. Also, there are multicultural communities. You'll find groceries, restaurants, and events from nearly every culture. But here is the downside. It is expensive. The rent for a one bedroom apartment is easily $2,500 per month or more. And don't get me started on groceries and transportation. There's also a competitive job market. Because everyone wants to live in Toronto, the job market is tough. Many newcomers struggle to land their first jobs. A pro tip, if you love Toronto but can't afford the rent, consider Mississauga, Brampton, or Scarborough. They are cheaper, have strong immigrant communities, and are still close enough to commute to Toronto for work. The second city to consider is Calgary, Alberta. Now, if you're looking for a city where you can keep more of your money, Calgary might be your best bet. What makes Calgary great for immigrants? Well, there are high salaries, jobs in oil, gas, engineering, tech, healthcare, and construction pay well, and there is less job competition compared to Toronto. There's also no provincial sales tax, meaning you pay less for groceries, clothing, and everyday essentials. And there are some cheaper housing as well. You can rent a one bedroom apartment for around $1,500 per month or even buy a house at a reasonable price. But Calgary isn't perfect. The winters are brutal. Temperatures drop to minus 30 degrees Celsius, and yes, you will need a proper winter coat. Also, the economy depends on oil prices. If oil prices drop, there are layoffs. The pro tip is if you work in tech, healthcare, or skilled trades, Calgary offers fantastic opportunities and a lower cost of living than major cities like Toronto or Vancouver. The third option is Ottawa in Ontario. Now, Ottawa is often overlooked, but if you want a safe, stable, and affordable place to raise a family, this is it. Now, why is Ottawa great for immigrants? There are government jobs plus a strong tech industry, which means that there are tons of stable job opportunities. The second thing is that there's a high quality of life. Ottawa offers a clean, safe, and family friendly environment. The third thing is that Ottawa is more affordable than Toronto because rent and home prices are lower. The challenges, it is a bit quiet. So if you love nightlife and excitement, Ottawa might feel boring. Also, French gives you an advantage. You don't have to speak French, but it helps for government jobs. Pro tip, if you're looking for long term stability, Ottawa is an excellent choice. The fourth city to consider is Winnipeg, which is in Manitoba. Now, Winnipeg is one of the most affordable cities in Canada and has strong government support for new immigrants. Now, why is Winnipeg great for immigrants? First thing is the low cost of living. You can rent a one-bedroom apartment for as low as $1,200 per month, and there is easy access to permanent residency because Manitoba has one of the easiest PNP pathway for immigrants. Third thing is that there's a good job market in healthcare, trades, and retail. The challenges of living in Winnipeg, the extreme winters. Winnipeg is known as Winterpeg because of its freezing temperatures, and there are fewer entertainment options because there are not so many restaurants, nightlife, or cultural events like the bigger cities. Now, a pro tip, if you want an affordable place to start your new life in Canada, Winnipeg is an excellent choice. The fifth city to consider is Halifax in Nova Scotia, which is great for newcomers who want a laid back life. The pros of living in Halifax is there are easier PR through the Atlantic Immigration Program or AIP, and they're also cheaper rent compared to major cities. You can get around $1,300 per month for a one bedroom, and it has a beautiful coastal lifestyle. The cons of living in Halifax is the job market is smaller. It is mainly in fishing, healthcare, and education, and the weather can be unpredictable. There are cold winters and stormy seasons. A pro tip is if you want a slower paced life with lower cost, Halifax is a great option. Now, the cities immigrants should avoid. Number one, Vancouver, BC. It is beautiful but unaffordable because there is a super high cost of living. The rent for a one bedroom apartment is over $3,000 per month, and there's a competitive job market. It is harder to find work unless you're into tech or film. Now, if you are wealthy or have a high paying job lined up, Vancouver is amazing, but for most new immigrants, it is financially draining. The second city to avoid is Montreal in Quebec, majorly due to the language barrier issues. French is essential for most jobs. If you don't speak it, it is tough. And there are lower salaries compared to Toronto or Calgary. However, if you speak French, Montreal is affordable and has great immigrant communities. The third city to avoid is St. John's in Newfoundland because majorly it is hard to find work. There is a small job market because there are few opportunities outside of oil, fishing, and government jobs. And it is far from major economic hubs, which makes it harder to find networking opportunities. It is also harder to find communities of immigrants compared to bigger cities. Now, a bonus tip on how to save thousands when moving to Canada is number one, consider provincial nominee programs or PNPs. Some provinces offer faster PR and financial support for immigrants. Also, plan your housing before arrival. Avoid expensive short term rentals by researching housing options ahead of time. And lastly, network before you arrive. Join Facebook groups, LinkedIn communities, and newcomers program to connect with people in your chosen city. So, which city is the best for you? It all depends on your priorities. If job opportunities are your main focus, Calgary or Toronto might be your best bet. If affordability is key, Winnipeg or Halifax could be a great choice. Now, which city are you considering? Drop a comment below. And if this video helped you, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more immigration tips. Thank you for watching this video. Until next time, bye guys.